tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
Hey, hey, hey. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's your girl, Rhelin T, and this is BHL's Next. I'm back, and I'm here with rapper Lew Sid. What's up?
What's going on? How are you?
Hey, look, we got the applause, standing ovation.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Well, you have so much going on. I want to get into the two albums that you had dropped. The new single, Fried Rice.
Yes, ma'am.
Really loving that.
Appreciate it.
Before we get into everything that you got going on right now, I really kind of want to paint this picture of, how you became the artist you are today, Lew Sid.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about Howard.
Yeah. So, I went to Howard for basketball, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I transferred there for basketball. And around that time was really when I really got better with the recording on the side. Like, that was, music has always been like my focus. That's always been like the thing that I was most attached to as far as like me, I played basketball because, where I was coming up, it was just like, that was my medium. That was my way, to stay like leveled around everything that was around me. So picked up ball, got better at it, and used it as a tool as I moved along. But, when I was at Howard, we used to have this studio right across from the dorm where we stayed in the athletes dorm, Listen Vision. And I started recording there with an engineer who actually came from Howard. And it was kind of like we was kind of just bouncing off each other, He would only hit me when he had like openings and stuff like that. And I actually did a competition when I was at Howard called Howard's Hottest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were named the hottest.
Yeah. I actually won that joint. It was kind of like a, shot in the dark. Like I had never been to one before. I didn't know exactly how I was gonna go, but I had a ill joint over a Kendrick Lamar record back then. It was called Fall Back, and I performed that joint like. No,
and this is your first time performing. Never performed in front of anybody?
I had performed before, but never on that type of level. Like they had industry judges, and they picked between, the five of us, and they had a producers competition too. And I remember just having the beat. Like I didn't have any like ad-lib vocals, backings on the track. I just had the beat. So it was literally just me projecting the lyrics and everything straight through live, no vocal assistance. So I did all of that, like straight through. And I still remember, one of the judges told me, like, forget the competition. Like, I really feel like you could sell records. Like, I feel like, you have the sound to actually sell records in this game, And that stuck with me because, I always felt like that. But to hear it coming back like
just
that, in that space, because I had like a visual memory of just how crazy the crowd was rocking with me, And all of that, it was just kind of reassuring, So after I won that joint and then moved on, we finished at Howard, graduated. Shout out to HU, And then on from there, it was just, growth, like keep on developing the sound, finding, that niche in this industry. And I felt like it happened soon after,
What niche do you feel like you fall into? Because for me, I feel when I listen to your music, like we'll get into your new single,
right.
But like it's really strictly storytelling. You follow maybe the sound of today, but as far as context of your music, you can literally talk about anything that you want to. It doesn't necessarily have to fall into what we're listening today. So like I said, what niche do you feel like you fall into with your music?
I feel like for me, the niche is exactly like my name. It's just like, just being myself. Like when I hear a record, it's to me, I don't even start writing, or I don't even begin the process of making the record until it's like attached to my soul. You know what I'm saying? Like the instrumental and everything about it, just I have to have that feeling that just draws me into, me being me. Like if it don't feel like me, I'm gonna know. It's just like I'm forcing it. Like this record ain't for me. But my niche is just when the production draws it out of me to get into my bag, as far as something that got the bounce and the sound that I know I love, and that I know my listeners and people that really want to hear. I feel like I got a good ear for production, and then it allowed me to actually say like the storytelling or give bars or come across with some lyricism and still match that flow of the beat, that bounce. So, like the fried rice joint, when he sent it to me, like I heard the Chinese sample, you know what I'm saying? And I immediately started thinking like, yo, I love Chinese food. Like, and not even Chinese food, like every time I go to Chinese spots, I get the same stuff, but I love it. Like I've been doing it since I was young, you know what I mean? So when I was a kid, we always had a Chinese spot nearby. When I was at Howard, we had Ho Chi right up the street, and that was just the first place my mind went. It was a quick right for me because I have that connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
and it's crazy that connection for fried rice, because I feel like I'm from LA, and I still have like Yee's, like off Slauson, or
sure.
There's a Louisiana fried chicken like off King that has the Chinese food, and then you get the wings and the fried rice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of universal.
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like everybody could relate to it because, even if it's not fried wings and rice, whatever you always get at the hood spot or the reliable spot on the lit nights, like that's what you get. Like for me, it was the chicken wings with the fried rice. You know what I'm saying? For somebody else, it might be pizza or whatever. But it's just the storytelling is what I want them to relate to. The relatability of how on those nights, you know what I'm saying, me and the squad would pull up at this spot, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can relate to the Chinese spot, so that's why I went with it, and you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, everybody rocking with it.
Well, I am. I'm also rocking with the albums that you have put out, Saga 1, Saga 2. So last year's the Saga 2, right?
Right.
How did you, or what did you go into thinking about how you were going to put this together rather than the first one you dropped?
So the first one for me was more like even both of them. I named them Saga 1 and Saga 2 because they were my first two bodies of work that, I approached with the open mind as far as, each direction that I came from with the records. So, Saga 1 was more led by the single, and I had a couple other ones that were put together afterwards, but I had records sitting too. So I put together songs that I just had with the ones that I had wrote up, you know what I'm saying, in the process, and moved on them. Saga 2 for me was more everything happened after Saga 1. Everything for Saga 2 happened after I had already had everything lined up for Saga 1, and it was put together in order, you know what I'm saying? I had time to put it together, but I didn't want to put a rap around it. I didn't want to put a heavy concept on it. I still wanted to play with different sounds and different angles on the records. But the only thing different was a lot more of, I'd say, content was in some of the records, more, kind of more like designed for, a certain sound. But it was still that same type of mixture of records, kind of like playlisty almost.
Yeah.
But, everything was everything. So then after those two projects is when I wanted to move into where I was like, oh, now we full power with it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's no more, we not experimenting no more. You know what I'm saying? The productions are all aligned now, you know what I'm saying? And now even looking at the production I have now, like guys that went throughout the process with me, you know what I'm saying, that's still with me, are who going to the future projects, you know what I'm saying? It's like all of that, those first two steps for me helped me level out everything as far as my team, everything. And it was a lot going on during those two projects. Like, I got a crazy backstory for the Saga 2 joint. It almost did make it out, you know what I'm saying? So those were two journeys that I went on in life and as a musician that produced those projects. That's why they are Saga 1 and Saga 2. So, looking back on them, I'm gonna always remember that about those two projects because of, how they were put together. And I know, what really went into both of them. And yeah, they gonna always be special to me. Like that first one especially, like, you know what I'm saying? That was when we didn't have money or nothing. That was just us hitting the streets and pushing and doing what we could for the record. So
you talk about you saying, you weren't experimenting with sounds, but I feel like the artist you are isn't afraid to hop on different type of sounding beats. You get artists that only want to stick to one sound, but you, even like the Cosby joint that you have, everything is definitely different production-wise. How do you, or what makes you feel not afraid to step out the box when it comes to beats and sounds?
For one, I mean, I done been through the circuits. Like, when I say circuits, I'm talking about ciphers, you know, rapping in front of the old heads, you know what I'm saying? Hey, rap something, little, you know what I'm saying? Your old heads, the OGs want you to spit something on the spot, rapping at school, you know what I'm saying, battling. So, you know, I would say as an artist, I'm not insecure in the regard of, I don't feel like I'm small in any circle as far as when it comes to rapping or when it comes to making a track. Now, if I don't like the record or if I don't like the beat, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like a wide range of different type of productions and styles of hip hop. So I'll always, you know, let's see how it sound, you know what I'm saying? Or let's see how I would sound on this. Or that's a lot of what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I tested the waters, you know what I'm saying? I feel like on most records, I could put my sound in a way that works for the record and make it sound dope. You know what I'm saying? I know how to, you know, play with cadences and delivery. So that's something I take pride in. I like the challenge.
It's true, because sometimes it'll be you on a record and I'll be like, does he got a feature? I'm like, oh no, it's you.
For sure. Like, I like that challenge. I like the challenge of, let's see how it sound, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, if it's too far out there, you know what I'm saying, we'll know. And I can be honest about it. And I got people around me that's honest, you know what I'm saying? And we'll put the ear to it. But I like to have fun with it, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know
well, you're from Virginia, so you got like Timbaland,
you know,
Pharrell, like they, you know, Pusha T, people who have, really created their own lane within hip hop. Yeah,
like that creativity side of it is like what I hold true to the most. Like, I like the creativity. I like for you to hear something.
You got the creative director hat on right now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love it. You know, hip hop is fun. Like, making music is fun for me. Like, the business side of it is there and all that other stuff too, but I love making music. Like, I've been in love with this since I was a kid, so it's not something that's I'm afraid or I'm nervous about. Like, I love this. Like, this is what I do. So when people, you know, tap into my music and they hear the different styles, like, I get people who react so differently across the board to different records that I got in my catalog, and it's just like, yeah, you caught that energy. Like, that's the energy that I was on when I made it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I take pride in that. It's like, yeah, like, I can tap into that wave and give you this, and then I can, you know what I'm saying, do this, and it still be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the people that I named, and you saying how much you've loved music growing up, who were some of your influences?
Ooh.
Your long list?
A long list. Like, because of the different styles, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was a big Lupe Fiasco fan.
Yeah, so I heard.
Lupe. Big
Food
Lupe
and alcohol,
fan.
right?
Yes. Huge Lupe fan. Man.
What was it about Lupe? His wordplay?
It was a number of things. I mean, from somebody who you would look at sometimes and say, oh, he's just a lyricist, like he's just a technical rapper. But I feel like he transcended into an artist. Like, he took where most people would label him as just a technical rapper, and then he gave you full bodies of work with dope records. Like, his first 2 albums to me are like classics. Like, they like heavy classics because they had a concept, and he followed through so well on the concept with the records. And I listen back on them still just like, yo, like, dude had to be like super high or something to elaborate this well, because the way, you know what I'm saying, metaphorically, you know what I'm saying, the way he designed some of the records with the names and stuff like that, it like, you might catch some of it at some point, and then you go back later and you be like,
something that you may have overlooked.
Yeah, something you might have overlooked. But when he rapped though, just the delivery and his bars and all of that is just something that I studied. Just the way his cadence went through on his records and stuff. You know, Fabulous was a guy that I looked up to from a bar standpoint. You know what I'm saying? I felt like he always brought it with the bars. Kanye.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you really love music, it's no way you ain't feel like, especially early Ye.
Yeah.
Like, it was a crazy time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a crazy time when he was really, really like Ye. And man, DMX, like, I used to sit in front of the box and order his video. I remember the Stop Being Greedy video. I used to order that joint, like, running up my parents' bill. Like,
speaking of videos, though, your videos have a lot of creativity that's going into it. What made you be so interested in that? Because I feel, too, one of the things, like, watching TRL 106 in Park, that era kind of not died, but it's not as hyped as it was, you know?
Yeah.
So what made you still care about putting so much into music videos in a time like today?
It's just, that's just a part of me. Like, that's just the artistic side of me. That's just looking back at, you know, how I came up, how I used to sit in front of that tube and watch, you know, like, I used to watch this video. It was a rock video from Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Californication joint. I used to catch that every time. It's just something about the video. Yeah, that it's something about the visual matching with the record that just brings it a whole nother life. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can hear the song, and then when you see the video, it just take on a whole nother appeal. Is just crazy. So, especially with the Cosby record, when I have a Cosby sample, the first thing I'm thinking of is, you know, that intro with the Apollo background. Like, even if I don't remember it, you know, like down to every detail, I'm thinking of, like, that intro was fire. Like, I know it, so I go back and I revisit. I'm like, yo, it would be crazy, you know what I'm saying, to do the visual like this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I try to just be, like, you know, as creatively, you know what I'm saying, relatable as possible in a way that people will see it and it'll draw their attention and inspiration. So, you know, not having the major budget and everything to go full out with it, you know, maybe rent the Apollo Theater or something like that, you know, I don't know. But, you know, we make work what we can, and we try to be as creative as possible, and I just try to be sharp with it. So it's like when they see it or when they hear anything coming from me, they feel like it's dipped in originality with a little bit of creativity.
And effort, and like you actually care about what you're putting out. Because there's a lot of people who just want to be artists just for the sole fact of just putting stuff out there, you know, not really taking the time to go through every step of the process.
Yeah, that happens as an artist. You get impulsive, you know. You got your pride and everything like that, but it's just...
Have you ever felt impulsive in this
it
industry?
happens, like, especially when you grind and when you feel like you should be somewhere, or you want to be somewhere that you're not yet. You get a little antsy, you know what I'm saying? You get something done and it's like, yo, this is fire, like, let's go. You know, let's hit the streets with it. But
what pulls you back to be like...
So it just took trial and error. Like, over time, it was like, when you do that and you exhaust all your options and your resources, and then you stuck, and it's like, you know, you had something, you do got something, but it's missing, you know, ingredients behind it that you just don't got yet. So, you know, over time, I just came to realize, like, yo, I done had a few, you know what I'm saying? I still got them, and it'll never go anywhere. But the more that I got, gonna only bring attention to it. So it's never a loss for me. It's always a lesson. So I never look at anything like I wasted any opportunity, anything like that, because everything I did, I feel like pushes me forward to get where I'm going. So it's just looking at, you know, the mistakes you made and not doing it again, and also paying attention to what's going on around you. You know, so enough people doing it too, to where you know not to move like that. You know, so picking up on that. You know, I'm a observative person, so I take from experience and just things around me to know how to move forward, and this is how I carry it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So look, I have you here not only as my guest, but as my co-host as we dive into some hot topics. So you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Look, so Nicki Minaj is back. Could have swore she said she was retired, but she's back in the game with this new single, Yikes. Have you heard it yet?
I checked it out.
Yeah? From a production standpoint, I feel like...
Yeah, super crazy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the production on that is crazy. Yeah, she just wrote it, like, I feel like she just wrote it out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a smooth joint to drop off, because she had been absent
for a
for a little minute.
Yeah.
And I think it's healthy, you know, for the climate, just because, you know, female artists are doing their thing. So I think, you know, Nicki is only, you know what I'm saying, got to be involved in that. So, you know, shout out to her for that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that production on that one is
crazy.
It's nuts.
I remember looking at this one video she had on her Instagram when she was, like, I guess, creating the beat to Chun-Li, and, like, just hearing, like, different. You never even think about the different type of weird sounds people
be doing in the process, right? Yeah. I always felt like that record had a crazy cadence, just like defense song. Like that cadence is nuts on that record, yeah.
And like her just like even just listening to it, just creating the melody and then laying down like the rhymes like that, like so much respect just going into that.
Yeah, these artists be putting a lot into this, man. Like, you know, so when I hear a dope product like that, I have a different type of appreciation for it because, you know, it ain't easy. No matter, you know what I'm saying, people got writers or whatever, like that dope product is all that matters, you know what I'm saying? So salute to every artist that's putting out that dope product, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The game definitely need it.
For sure.
For sure.
Especially from our women. And our next topic, there is this artist from Ohio, Yellow Pain. He dropped this rap that educated us on the branches of government. Did you check it out? You heard it?
I checked it out. Yeah, I actually, you know, we actually follow each other.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, me and we linked a minute ago when the Trill Cosby clip was actually going. You know what I'm saying? He reached out, he showed love, and we talked about doing something together. But
that'll be dope.
Yeah, like when I seen it, I was like, yo, that's bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I checked it out, and bro actually spitting on there, like. You know what I'm saying?
And it's easy enough for everybody to still understand, but still like have a flow.
It's
and
like some stuff that because of how the times are now, like I could actually hear that being in the school system. Like them, I could actually hear them playing that joint in the class. You know what I'm saying? It's got information in it, but he's spitting like he got a flow to it. He got his sound in it. You know what I'm saying? So I rock with that.
Yeah, you don't lose like anything of the context, nor like I feel who he is as an artist. So
yeah, shout out to
dope.
him.
Yeah, shout out to Yellow Pain. So
Jada Pinkett actually posted that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, look.
So a couple people, but I noticed that because
I know Hillary Clinton's daughter had tweeted it out too. So he on his way.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Yellow Pain, man.
So tell me, Lew Sid, what do you have or what do you see yourself doing 2020? It's a new year, new decade. What you got going?
Moves. For me, it's just about like being like out here, getting it any way I can possible. Like I got an EP coming right around March this year. And,
so you working right now?
Working. Yeah, I've been
finalizing everything.
The single is out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna follow that up with the visual for it soon.
I know. What is the fried rice? You don't have to give it away, but what are you thinking? Like
just a little bit of their culture dipped in with ours and mixed it in. You know what I'm saying? Like I always been a fan of the Asian culture. You know, I felt like we was always like cousins or something. You know what I'm saying? We got the Chinese hood spots, anime, stuff like that, and even basketball, being a basketball fan, China's really big on that. So I just look for that one to be like, show a little bit of love and just be clean and something that everybody can rock with and relate to. Fun. Yeah, that's just the basis of it that I can give you. But it'll be something cool everybody can rock with. Okay,
so guys, be looking out for that. And then what else do you feel like you see yourself doing? Some shows?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Definitely see myself hopping on some stages, you know what I'm saying, giving that energy through a live performance.
And you've opened up for some major players.
Yeah, over the years, I done opened up for Rick Ross, T.I., Joe Budden, Odyssey. That's just off the top of the head. But
what has that been like? That has probably given you even more experience with stage presence for opening up for such huge people like that.
Yeah, I never been the type really to be a little. It's always nerves, but never really just like, I always I look forward to that opportunity just because the faces, I like the reactions, I like to watch, I like to lock in with somebody who maybe wasn't paying attention or, didn't really know who I was and see how they react to the music. I like to be clear, so I don't like, performance tracks. I don't like to hear vocals in the song while I'm performing. I like to be, heard and talk and hear reactions. So that's like performing is like one of the best sides of it to me. So I definitely look forward to being on like across the country. I'm trying to perform any and everywhere that I can and spread this wave out, you know what I'm saying? Get everybody on board to what I'm doing. Yeah. So yeah, that's like a major goal for me.
Well, I know it's coming, and before you go, I want people to be able to follow you so that when you do hit those roads, they'll come and see you. So let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
On all social media, it's at Lew Sid Raps, all of them same. LEWSIDRAPS. My website is LewSidRaps.com. tap in. Like on all my platforms, I'm interactive. You know what I'm saying? I talk back, especially if you want to argue about basketball or something. But
who's your team?
Man, look, Lakers, man.
Okay,
Lakers.
All right, you can stay in LA then, I guess.
Yeah. I was raised by a Lakers fan. I don't want to hear no hate. East Coast VA dude, you know what I'm saying? My pops was a Lakers fan. But shout out to LeBron too, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, man, Lew Sid raps everywhere. Lew Sid on all social media, LEWSID. Follow me.
And he's
out.
streaming on all platforms.
Yeah, all of them. Every one of them.
And go check out those videos because they're super dope.
Yeah, check it all out. Let me know how y'all feel. I talk back, you know what I'm saying?
Lew Sid, thank you so much for being here with me.
It was a pleasure.
Guys, it's your host, Rhelin T. You can find me everywhere on Instagram and Twitter at Rhelin Taryn. And I will see you guys next Sunday. Make sure to follow all things Black Hollywood Live at BHL Online. Bye.
Yeah.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.